Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. This is Joey and we're gonna play Planetzoo. Now I'm gonna do a how-to video with Planetzoo. I haven't done this since the gorillas exhibit. That was like a while back, and I want to do one for the saltwater crocodile since this is one of my most likes on TikTok. So you guys love this, and I'm gonna try to recreate the whole exhibit, but not really. But we're gonna do it in a brand new map. But before we're gonna get into the build, this is the saltwater crocodile. Here's the underwater. Why do you say underwater? Obviously, it's not done yet. But I guess you could say underwater. Not really, but it's like a tunnel where you can see the crocodiles swimming in this type of view. You see it in the silhouette. If we can actually get a glimpse of a crocodile, maybe not today, but there's some cases where the crocodiles could swim, like you could see a silhouette of them. Another view is up here, and this is like majority of the backstage stuff. So I don't think I mean, maybe I can, but I feel like this is just like off limits to the guests for right now. But yeah, maybe we'll just go into a new map, and I'll show you how I built this saltwater crocodile habitat. Okay, we are on a brand new map, and wow, the controls here are very smooth. You could really tell when you have so much stuff here, you could really tell like there's some lagging going on, but when the map is really empty, holy, I could move really fine. Now, before we start building, let's go to settings really quick because I feel like a lot of people just like kind of go over this and didn't really went through. Right in the present setting options, go to create presents. With that, you get everything turned off like death, illness, birth, and of course some of the managing stuff like defecation, cleanliness, temperature needs, injuries, protesters. So everything is turned off, automatically. So you don't need to go through all of that stuff. That's if you wanted to, but for me, I'm a sandbox player. I like to keep things easy, so I'm gonna have all of them off. That's how I play. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's have go to terrain, and we'll make a good amount of a size for our lake for the crocodile, right? Um, we'll make it a little bit bigger. Let's try to make as a good amount as possible. Uh, so we're just gonna scope our landscape a bit. That is way too big, but we're gonna work with this. And then what we're gonna do, oh shoot, I'm not gonna get out there. We're gonna test the water and see. So see, it's really cool to use the terrain step. Use this as much as you can with your builds because it helps you with the water format. And water in this game is kind of difficult when I don't know, it's not as easy as Jurassic World. I'm sorry, that's the truth, but yeah, the terrain really helps with your water elevation. Now we're gonna go to path, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna not try to do the exact same thing that I built there because that's impossible to do it twice, but maybe something similar. So let me try to put the width a little bit. And oops, I have tunneling off. Yeah, there's a an option where you can have tunneling off. We're not gonna have that on for not right now, maybe later on. And we're just gonna find the layout how I want it. Right, something like that. I think that's good enough. And we're gonna connect the path. Oh, that's perfect. And then boom. Oh yeah. For this, you just gotta hold square, and then you just gotta lift up the diagonal stick. Then you could have like bridges and all that stuff. So for those who are struggling, yeah, there you go. And right here you could like put on tunneling, and it'll just help you create a little terrain here. Okay, we have our little layout here. Now it's time to add let's try to add a barriers. Now we want this to be a see-through see-through glass. So we'll just connect it here. Okay. Now, let's see, what should I do? Should we just like go ahead and... How big do I want it? I want it to in the level where the water should be. So, you know what? I'm just gonna play around in terrain. Let's do that first. We want to make sure that our crocodiles can also enjoy land. I think that's good land right there. Okay. Now let me check the water. So it can... I wanna go there because we have a... No, that's way too small for the water. Actually, no, that is actually kind of perfect. Because if you have the water in this level, you could see the crocodiles swimming. No, actually, we could have it a little bit deeper, huh? And maybe we could just raise up this part of the barricade. Okay, that should be nice. Now let's see, we'll go to the water. Hey, that looks fine. You think so? That looks good. Let's test it out with an explorer mode. Yeah. See, you're swimming right here. It's a cool lake, and this is where they could like chillax and stuff. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and decorate this area right here. What I want to do is I want to decorate with rocks. I'm going to use this rock. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to surround it around with the glass barrier. Hopefully it's not too big enough. Okay, that took a while. I'm gonna highlight all this because I'm gonna change the color. I should have done this earlier, but it's okay. I like this grayish color. Cool. And then we're also gonna put some rocks here and there. I'm gonna rotate this just like that. Boom, and then change the color from that. There you go. And now I can duplicate this, and then maybe we gotta have this just secure because like what are they gonna see here anyways, right? Okay, now we gotta have a roof here, and I'm just gonna stick with using these rocks. So I'm gonna duplicate these rocks and I'm gonna stack them, well, not stack them up, but align them like that. And then I'm gonna grab just a couple of them and I'm gonna duplicate that. So I don't need to do it like one by one. Now I have a bigger piece. Okay, these rocks need to go. Actually, did they look... Or maybe I should keep them, I don't know. It looks kind of cool here. And then, you know, right here you could decorate with some stuff like some decorations that we have. Usually in the construction tab here, there's so many items to choose one. You could put like walls, some education centers, some seating areas. We're not gonna bother at this gameplay because, or else we're gonna be here for hours. So I'm just gonna focus on the habitat itself. Let's just add the water. And boom. Then we have like an underwater sequence here to see the crocodiles. Here's a cool thing though. You go to select water. You could actually change the color of the water. So Everglade have this greenish, ugly effect. We're gonna change the water. I mean, we're gonna wait. No, I wanted Everglades, but we're gonna change the color to that type of color, like a dirty brownish type of color. And transparency, you could change the transparency here. You could have like this peahish color, but we're gonna have a little bit of transparent here, like right, like around there, right? You could also adjust the mist. So if you want to make it misty, look at that. There you go. That looks cool, right? We're gonna keep it a little bit. We're gonna keep it 3, not too misty. Is this level 3? Okay, it's adjusting itself, or maybe just one. I want a little bit of mist, but you could also use the, if you go to construction, and I do prefer in the construction tab, you go to special effects, you go to the mist effects, and there's so many options to choose. But there's also a mist, if I could find it, it's right here. See, so there's. So if you want to focus on one certain area instead of the whole pool, you could just add a mist right about there, and boom. So I think that's what I'm probably gonna use it here. Yeah, we're gonna take out the mist and just use only the special effect. So maybe a little bit right here. Yeah, there you go. And that is the water. Okay, I totally forgot to put a barrier, a gate, and of course a keeper's hut and a center here just to get your crocodiles here. This is very important too. So if you're gonna build an enclosure, make sure you have a barrier that has everything in it. And obviously you could decorate everything with the fences. I usually decorate my fences. I do recommend it. It makes your park much better. But right now we're not making a zoo, we're making a habitat, and I really did make this crocodile habitat, so I don't need to bother doing a fence work here. I'm just showing you how to build a habitat. Anyways, let's go ahead and grab a crocodile. So I have a path here. You can see the crocodiles in the land, but you can also go down here and see the underwater. So we have our crocodiles. Let's see explorer mode, and look at that, you can see them swimming. Your zoo has no vet. No, I don't need to worry about the vet. This is not. Look at that, this is a big one. Okay, anyways, now we go to the enrichment, right? Gotta make sure we satisfy our crocodile's needs. So we're gonna have a mud bath right in front where the guests can see it. Oh, also forgot to mention, we go to habitat right here in travelability. Click on a crocodile and they could see where they could travel. So all these blue highlight is where the crocodiles can travel, which we actually did a good job. I feel like that's a success. What we're gonna do is to make this habitat pretty. So we're gonna go to show appropriate plants. Now for beginners, this is really helpful, because these are the plants that the crocodiles prefer, right? But if you want to use a variety of plants, and a lot of players do use a variety of plants, I do suggest to use this option, the favorite button. What do? You like press square and you favorite that foliage, and then when you go to the favorites, it will show up. So I have like a couple of here. That way it'll just make your gameplay a lot easier, and you don't need to like scroll down and you know finding the plants that you prefer, right? That's a little bit of tips and tricks for you guys could implement in your gameplay. Oh, one thing I would love using, and I don't know, this is just me, but hold up, it's not part of the crocodiles prefer rocks, but it should be in everybody's favorite. Oh my gosh, where is it? Here it is. These aquatic full rocks are a godsend. You know, and we're gonna place some here. Boom. We need more of these rocks. And what's cool about these aquatic full rocks is that you could change the color. So you highlight some of these. You can change the color of these. Look at that. Ain't that cool? I wish all rocks have that type of feature, but I guess not. I'm not gonna decorate the whole entire habitat just because it will take me hours. Like this game take me so much of my time, more than so than more than so? More than Jurassic World, to be quite honest. Maybe because I'm still a beginner in this game, so I don't know all the tips and tricks. But yeah, this game takes a lot of time. So a little bit greenery here, and then go to plants. If you see my original build, which I'm gonna show again after I'm done with this, is that I also decorated up here too. So I remember I put some palm trees here. Take out angle snap. I don't need it. All right, now angle snap is a really good feature if you're building like buildings and structures, but right now just like placing palm trees, not palm, foxtail palm trees. So it's not really much. I don't need that. I just wanted to like place trees here and there. All right. And of course we could have some flowers. I know they have some somewhat of a flower bed, right? Am I tripping? Or maybe that's... They don't have it. Okay. Right. Now for the grass, I do prefer these type of either buffalo grass or the dren grass large. The reason why is because the texture grass, the paint grass, is the worst part of the game. Don't use this. Don't use these. Look at the grass here. I will show you again. Look at the grass here. There's no detail, there's no texture in those grass. I do prefer using these grass, or the buffalo grass. So here's the buffalo. This is the dry one. Don't use the dry one. Use this one. Here it is. Again, look at the texture of the grass. These two are good optionals. You could even mix them together. See? Much better than the paint grass. Also, if you bought the conservation pack, I believe there's a conservation pack. So let's go to filters. We'll go to content pack. You go to conservation pack. These are the foliage from the conservation pack. And look at how many different types of flower beds. So we have the cornflower here. We also have, you know, the asterd. Again, more detail work in your exhibits. So yeah, we're gonna use the drin grass right here. These are one of the best examples. You are not the drin grass. Is that how you pronounce it, drin grass? Here. And usually what I do is like I'll place them where I add my full rocks. So something like that. Right? And then I'll grab some of the flower beds. There's so many to choose one. For you guys who are starting the game, I do recommend getting the conservation pack. I really do. Like these flower beds are just makes your park so much prettier. So that's part of the landscape I'll be using. I'll put like grasses and some flower beds and some mangrove and some palm trees. Now for the water, for this, we are gonna go. I'm gonna click on you, buddy. I keep forgetting to favorite my items. I need to start doing that. We're gonna go to rocks. We're gonna go one of these tropical, and we're just gonna place a rock right over here because we want our crocodiles to like, we want our crocodiles to lay on some of these rocks. I believe the saltwater crocodile only contains of 2 crocodiles, which I didn't know that, but judging by their size and their intimidation, it kind of do make sense that these guys are very solitary. The Nile crocodile is the one I was thinking about, that there's like, well, 50 of them. So I had some rocks here, boom. And then you could decorate with some aquatic foliage, usually like cactus. It's like, I really like using the cactus. Add some here, maybe some at the edge of the water. And then could we have one big palm tree, right? Ooh, no, not that one. I like this one. This one, like, I have this curve. I'm gonna just place it right over here. Boom. And we also have lily pads. Well, these are not lily pads. We also have here too. What are these? These are the common lily pads. So these are the ones. Just add some right here and above the water, like so. Maybe have one big mangrove right over here, like boom, like that. And then more of these right at the edge of the water. And for the reefs, I like to add them right at the edge of the water too. So I could add some of these. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you don't have to add them one by one. Again, do not sleep on the duplication button. You could like duplicate this, and then you could place them wherever you want them to be. So if you want it here, or you want abundance of them, you could add it right here. And you could also duplicate these guys again. See? So now you have more. So I do advise using this tool a lot. It just makes your gameplay a lot faster, especially building like actual buildings. It really helps out a lot. So I do prefer using that duplication button. Helps you build, especially building bigger habitats, right? And one thing I love to do, or love to add, is my good buddy. Something I want in Jurassic World. I mean, we do have in Jurassic World, but it's not what is a log. Always add like a log here. Usually like I'll rotate it like right in the edge like this. And I will just like put in the water right about there. And I guess we could have another rock to create that rock. And right about like that. Put some carrot. As for the underwater, you could mess around with so much stuff here. You know, again, you could add rocks here. Usually, I'll add rocks right here, right in the. You know, you like that. Just play around with it. You could also have another log. You could duplicate this log, right? And we could just place some right in the bottom of the river or the lake, I mean, just like that. But what's even cool is that you could take one of these trees. So let's take this tree for example, and then you could just rotate this down, have it like have a tree like stick out. You know, just makes the water a little bit more murkier if you wanted to. Oh, I love using these Australian palm. You could add them right here on top of here. Or these Bengal bamboos. Place some right here. Or you could place some right here. And we could like dig it in there. Ah, okay, now water, right? We're going underwater. Oh, this one too. Now I use this one. So right here we could align to surface, right? You could turn that on and it aligns to surface really easy. So you don't need to rotate the foliage. It just sticks to whatever wall. So you could add some there. You know, there's so many of these you could use. Here's a bigger one. Maybe we could just like place one right there, right where the glass viewing, you know. Let's see what else that I like to play around with here. Here's some of the underwater foliage, like trees. Just place some here and there. Again, you could use the duplication. You could duplicate like 10 of them and then 20 of them and so on and so forth, right? So there's that you could play around with. Here's my favorite, these foliage. I like using the large one because it takes so much ground, and you could just add some there, and then again you could duplicate it that, so that way like it'll take a lot of space, right? And of course, don't sleep with the rocks as well. There's so many different options. We don't need to use the same amount of rocks. We could play around with the rocks. For example, the full rocks. So you can just have some rocks right about there. You know, boom. I wish we had more these type of full rocks, right? And we could have this one. We'll like lay it down in its back, like right so. Like that, and then you move this one. And then you could have this one. No, not that turn. Right about, and then it will kneel to this rock, right? Just like there you go. Look how aquatic. So yeah, and then you could just duplicate it, the foliage from put it here all around and stuff like that. And yeah, that's basically how I built. So let's say I want to duplicate the rocks, bangles, duplicate that, and then we could just like put it right here, right? Boom. So hopefully this will help you build your version of your crocodile. This is how I build it, and yeah, this is how it is. Okay, now we are back into my Australia Zoo, and yeah, that's how I built my saltwater crocodile exhibit. Now obviously it's not as the same as the example I show you, but the concept is still there. The only thing that we didn't build is a back area of the habitat, which you can see it here, but again, the foliage are kind of the same. We have the enrichment, all of this stuff. Some of them I didn't get to showcase is, again, we have this rock here and then adding foliage, but I did mention I use that a lot in my exhibits. But everything here, you know, basically the same plants and foliage that I use. The water, you know, the same color and all that stuff. Not really much as detailed with the underwater as I did in the example video, but you know, it's still a little bit marshy. And of course the tunnel. And let's see if we get some silhouette of our saltwater. No, we don't. Damn it. I wish we could actually get but you know, when they do show up, oh, here it is. So yeah, hello, cool stuff. But yeah, so that is it. This is how I built this saltwater crocodile exhibit. Hopefully you do learn a little bit. Maybe it inspires you to go out there and create your own version. But yeah, so that is that exhibit part of my Australia Zoo. And I think this is it for the video. I'm gonna do a complete tour of this once I open the park, and I feel like I would open the park. The Oceania pack is already done, so yeah. Anyways, that is it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next Planetzoo video. Thank you guys for watching.